Hi. In this video I wanted to talk some more about the Amendment 26, Initiative 26, that's going to be voted on November the 8th, which is the Personhood Amendment. Now, what if you haven't seen any more or read anything on this amendment, essentially it's going to make abortion illegal in the state. Now, if you haven't already watched my first video, and that one is titled, Can You Be Pro-Life and Also Against the Personhood Amendment, I beg that you do that maybe before you finish this one, so that you don't feel a little conned or anything. But just as the title of that video is, that's kind of where I find myself at, is that I'm pro-life. I'm having a hard time with this amendment. Now, I'll give it to you from the top. I was originally a proponent for this bill. I actually believe that I did give my signature to help get this bill on a ballot. I can't swear to that, but I very well may have. Now, initially, when I read through the bill, I didn't have a chance to really do much of the reading. I didn't have any chance to do any of the other stuff. The way it was given to me by the people that wanted my signature was that it would end abortion in the state, and it's something that I'm for. Now that I've had a chance to do some reading on it and some things on my own time, now this has nothing to do with the websites that are put up right now that are against it. This was on my own time. I slowly became less and less able to be behind it. And what we've all heard so far is that it's just too vague. Now, really, what does that mean? Why is that such a problem for people? First off, one of the things that we have, or one of the things that we run into when we run into vague language in law, is one of the ways that law is created is through interpretation. Now, that's something that we found out in Roe versus Wade, which is the law that actually effectively, made abortion legal, was through interpretation. Now, a judge in the state could interpret this bill a certain way and make another side law, something that, which that's not the technical term, but I'll just kind of try to make it easy to understand, is that by him reading that and taking it in the context that it's in, he or she could then make a side law that said something else because of the vagueness. That's why law really kind of needs to be very specific. Now, that was a problem for me to begin with, but I could have let that slide. What I started to have a problem with was some things that were actually left out. Now, we've all heard that it will effectively make abortion within the state lines illegal, period, for any reason at all. And that is true. But to me, there is a couple specific cases, as with most pro-lifers, in which abortion isn't looked upon as being something terribly bad. And first of that being is in the case where the mother's life is in danger, and the case where in the case of rape or incest. Now, I'll hit the first one. I'll hit that topic first, or I'm sorry, the cases of where it endangers the mother's life. And that's usually in a case of like an ectopic pregnancy, or if the mother has an illness that the child is going to be lost in the process, such as cancer or something else of that nature. Now, as I stated, most pro-lifers have somewhat of a middle ground, and we kind of understand that we can't be just extremely polarized to one side, which is the case with this bill, is completely one-sided. It could have just been as easy to put in something that said that in the case of a mother's life being in danger, that it wouldn't be a problem. That could have easily been put into this bill. What the people that are for this bill are saying is that in that case, a doctor can take it. What you'll have to do is defend yourself under or using a self-defense claim. That to me is kind of hard to stomach in itself. I just don't know why that had to be left out. It didn't ever make sense to be left out. The second part to that, in the case of an ectopic pregnancy, is why do we have to leave the state for something like that to happen? An ectopic, essentially, is when the fetus, or the baby, grows outside of the uterus, where it should be at, and has a possibility of killing the mother. That is another time. I'm not sure that it even made sense why that wasn't left out, or why it was left out. Because, as I stated, that was just that could have easily just been written in. So now you have a woman that knows that she has something growing inside of her that could kill her, and she's going to have to leave the state. This woman's already probably racked with pain, emotional and physical, and now she's going to have to drive possibly several hours away to a doctor she doesn't know, to a clinic, to a town she doesn't know, to have this life-saving procedure done to her. Now, I am not for that, because that was something that could have easily been put into this. Very, very easily. As much time as it would have taken to type it up. That's it. Now, in the case of rape or incest, that is a far bigger hotbed item for a lot of people, because the question that they ask is, why does the fetus have to suffer? Now, I am a little more agreeable on this to the side of the pro-lifers than I am to the pro-choicers. Mind you, my personal opinion. But there is another side of this question that I feel like that needs to be answered. And that is, if the government has the right to tell you what you can do with your body, then why not compensate them like they're taking over space? One of the other initiatives that's going on right now on the same bill is for eminent domain, and that's the right for the government to come in and take land from people, mind you, that pays them, and then gives it, and had a possibility of them giving it to someone else. To me, this kind of parallels that. I know that most people will disagree, but this is my opinion then. If you are for the life of this child and you have a problem with it, you don't think that that aborting this child is the right thing to do, then if the government can go in and tell you what you can do with your body, then why not compensate them like they were a surrogate mother? Like I said, I realize that's a very hotbed ticket, a really controversial issue that I would be bringing up. But the thing is that there would be some ways to shore this up from, girls just getting pregnant and writing this out. It would be very hard for them to do that. So, like I said, that could have easily just been shored up. Now we get to the subject of birth control. Well, we all kind of understand that the chemical barriers, the things that, essentially make the woman's body hostile to a fertilized egg, would be illegal. But there's there's a question that's been going on. Will the pill actually make it, will that be illegal as well? The thing about the pill, I think a lot of people misunderstand, and the main problem too, is that we're using a nickname for something that anybody could associate with anything. Meaning, what one person calls the pill, they may mean the morning after pill. And what one person calls the pill, they may be talking about a hormonal birth control pill. And most people will tell you they are completely different things. Now, the obvious thing about these other ones, the chemical pills and the morning after pill, is that their main objective is to make the body a hostile environment for the fetus. And it's pretty easy for us to know that those things will become illegal. Now, the thing that's been in question is the hormonal birth control pills, the ones that we've seen for so long that come in the little round packs, and we've seen our mothers and our wives take these things, and those are the ones that are been in question. Now, at first, I was dead set that there was no way that this was that this would ever be affected, because the main objective of those, what it does intentionally, is it just tricks the woman's body into believing it's pregnant already. And if you've ever seen a pack of birth control before, you know that there's a line of them that's probably 5 to 7 days long. That's usually a different color on the background of the pack, or the pill themselves could be a different color. But usually what that signifies is that it's a sugar pill. Now, what the other 3 weeks out of the month, what those ones do is have a hormone in it, like I said, that makes the body believe that it's pregnant, and essentially will just trap the egg into the ovary, and that's all it does. And once you start the other part of the pack, that's when you ovulate and you have your period. Now, to me, that seemed like a really easy case to know that that one's not going to make that illegal. But I have done a little more reading into this, and I'm not convinced anymore. Because even though the main objective of the pill is not to make a hostile environment for the body, but it is to make it pregnant, the pregnancy will make a hostile environment just because of the nature of a pregnancy. Not intentionally, but just by the nature of pregnancy in itself. Because the mucus wall of the uterus is going to thicken, and it's going to be really hard to implant. Now, we know that it's not impossible, okay, because the birth control pill is 99.9% effective. It's not 100% effective. Now, is the 0.1%, is that going to be enough for the judges to keep that in? I don't know. I think that's a really big question. I think that really needs to be answered. And that would be something that could have also been easily put into a bill that just wasn't done.